Hello, church. I wanted to take a couple minutes to read something to y'all that stood out to me this morning, and then to give you guys a little bit of an update of what we're doing here at Whitefields. I was reading this morning a Christian history book. It's a history of the Christian church, and reading about the 4th century, and something really stood out starkly to me. And to give you a little bit of background, the subject being covered was the reign of the Emperor Julian. Now, like I said, he reigned in the middle of the 4th century, and he's known to us down through history as Julian the Apostate. The empire, the Roman Empire, had started to shift towards Christianity, but Julian was a pagan, and when he gained the throne, he was intent on making the empire entirely pagan again. So he was not a fan of Christianity. In his religious views, he was a committed pagan, but he had this to say about Christians, and this is what really stood out to me. Here's the quote. He said, "The Christian faith has been specially advanced through the loving service rendered to strangers and through their care for the burial of the dead. It is a scandal that there is not a single Jew who is a beggar, and that the godless Galileans care not only for their own poor, but for ours as well, while those who belong to us look in vain for the help that we should render them." Did you catch that description? He doesn't love Christians. He actually called them godless. Christians don't worship idols, and he had a hard time understanding that. But he's talking about these Galileans. He's referring to Christians, and he said it is a scandal that they not only take such good care of their own poor, their own needy, their own sick, but they take good care of ours. He means the pagans. He means non-Christians. And he said those people that should be coming to us for help aren't finding any, but they're finding it with the Christians. And he credits the rapid growth of Christianity to that, to 3 centuries of the Christian church being there, being, to use a cliche, the hands and feet of Jesus. Whenever famine or pestilence or sword or persecution broke out, the Christians were there to meet their own needs, to love one another, and to minister to those people in their community who weren't part of the Christian church. And what Julian was seeing, though maybe he didn't know it, what he was seeing in practice was really just the church being the church as Jesus commanded it to be. Jesus said 3 times in the Gospel of John that his followers would be known for their love for one another. That's how they would be known, by their love for one another. Multiple times throughout the New Testament, the apostles make that same cry. You must love one another. And then in Matthew 25, Jesus exhorted his followers, when you see the needy, meet those needs. If a man is hungry, feed him. If a woman is thirsty, give her something to drink. You find the naked, you clothe them. And you do those things as if you were doing them to me and for me. So what Julian was seeing was just the church being the church. They weren't necessarily having doctrinal contests. They weren't having theological arguments. So many of the things that we put on a high priority, sometimes those things are important, but we often miss what it means to just be the bride of Christ. And what a testimony that a man who did not like Christianity would look, and that would be the thing that he would notice. And it really struck me today, if that's the thing that people notice about me. I hope so. I don't know. But the encouragement that I took from Scripture as I studied on and did more reading was that that's not something we have to do. It's something we're made to be. The bride of Christ is made to be this to one another and to the lost in this world. So I wanted to encourage you with that as we're struggling through this time, even during, yes, pandemics throughout history. The church has risen above the carnal, the material, and have been filled with God's Spirit to meet the needs of each other and the lost world around them. And I want to encourage you that you can be doing that right now through God's grace to your family, to other Christians. Call them on the phone, encourage them, send people texts, ask your non-Christian neighbors from 2 meters away if you can do anything to help them. And also I wanted to let you know that as a church, we're trying to organize a little bit to make that happen. Julian didn't notice programs and he didn't notice what we'd call ministries, but what he did notice was people just being the church. And we want to help you with that. And one of the ways we're doing that is if you go to whitefields.ca, you'll find on our church website a place where you can sign up if you need prayer, if you need material help, some kind of food or anything. If you know someone with any of those needs, you can fill out a form for that. Or if you'd like to be available to help us in some way with that. So when you get a chance, prayerfully consider that. Check out the website. Ask how God would use you during this time. And pray that, Lord, let people see me. And when they see me, let them see the work of Jesus in my life. I just want to encourage you that God has created you for that. It's not something you have to strive to make happen. The Spirit of the Lord is in you, believer, to be that witness. God bless you.